Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
Where we give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us on our other shows, The Nightly Strange, Civil Discourse, Plays and Parlays, and UFC with LT. Hello, Wes. How you doing today?
I'm good. About yourself, brother?
Nothing, man. Just watching the world burn.
It's even worse, man. Like, before we even get into our first segment, I feel like we've been kind of remiss and not talking about something that you brought up today as a subject, which will be Gaza, man. It's just, we don't let it think this slipped through our minds. We know this is going on. There's just been so many other things going on, but this is a very important subject, and I'm happy that you brought it to the table today, man.
Yeah.
And I want to let you go ahead and delve into the subject, but yeah, man, it's just saddening, man. Honestly,
it is. Gaza facing man-made mass starvation, says who's Tedros. Gaza is suffering a man-made mass starvation caused by a blockade on aid into the Palestinian enclave, World Health Organization chief said on Wednesday. He spoke following an appeal by more than 100 aid agencies warning of hunger in Gaza, while tons of food, clean water, and medical supplies sit untouched just outside the territory. I don't know what you would call it I don't know what you would call it other than mass starvation, and it's man-made. And that's very clear, Tedros told a virtual press conference live stream from Geneva. This is because of the blockade. Gaza's food stock had run out since Israel, at war with Palestinian militia group Hamas since October 2023, cut off all supplies to the territory in March and then lifted the blockade in May, but with restrictions that it says are needed to prevent aid from being diverted to militia groups. As a result, international aid agencies say only a trickle of what is needed currently reaching people in Gaza. Israel says it's committed to allowing an aid, but must control it to prevent it from being diverted by militias. It says that it has let enough food into Gaza during the war and blames Hamas for the suffering of Gaza's 2.2 million people. 10 more Palestinians died overnight from starvation, the Gaza Health Ministry said, bringing the total number of people who have starved to death to 111, most of them in recent weeks as a wave of hunger crashes the Palestinian enclave. The WHO said the deadly surge in malnutrition has caused the death of at least 21 children, reported to the agency in 2025, but stressed that the figures are likely the tip of the iceberg. Centers for treating malnutrition are full without sufficient supplies for emergency feeding. The WHO added, as the hunger crisis has been compounded by collapse of aid pipelines and restrictions on access. I need to put this in there too, that they've killed, Israel has killed 1,000 aid workers. The people trying to go in there and give them aid, Israel has killed them and blown them up. You know what I'm saying? They're saying also about right journalists. Now. Yeah, about journalists too. They're saying so just to give you a solid figure, ladies and gentlemen, about 600,000 people are starving to death right now in Gaza. They have pictures, we'll show them to you. They have these people in concentration camps. The same people you're supposed to sit here and never again, you're supposed to feel bad for. They're doing it to a whole nother group of people. They have no guns. They have no army. They have no military. Women, children, and men inside of cages, dying and starving to death.
It's pretty sickening, man, that, that the Biden administration, now the Trump administration, has allowed this to happen. We're the American people, so we are allowing this to happen as well. We're complicit in this genocide of the Palestinian people. Over 60,000 that they're saying. This is what they're saying. 60,000 people are dead, with another over 14,000 people missing, which are probably dead. They found mass graves by hospitals where they went in there and they just killed the people inside the hospital. The Israeli army and the so-called, I guess they are Jewish because they're not the true Jewish people of that area. They shouldn't even really be there. But these people have massacred the Palestinian people with our weapons, with our money. Your tax dollars are going to helping out the massacre of children. I think they've killed 20-something thousand children. And
that number, I was talking to Wes off camera before we started. You need to triple that number, because the number was triple that, and then they decided to cut it. Like, oh no, we haven't killed that many. They took the number and only made it a quarter of it. So you need to understand this. When you hear that number, you need to triple it. That's how many people have died. But you need to understand right now, 600,000 people are starving to death.
Remember when they cut out because these people have control of the water. They've had control of this since the beginning, since before Hamas allegedly they attacked from Hamas. They had control of the electricity, the water. They lived in an open air prison. They could not. No planes can fly in, no boats can come in without their say so. Nothing at all. This has been going on for a long time here. These are not the people. This is not their land in reality. People are not from here. These are European people who took on Judaism as they became Jewish. Oh, so now this is our motherland. This is not your motherland. You're not from there. You were never originally from there. None of these people are. Benjamin Netanyahu's name is not Benjamin Netanyahu. It's something totally different. You know what I mean? He's a European. He's an Ashkenazi. This is what these people are. People went to Europe. And he said, "But this just like the Egyptian president once said. He said, yeah, I would love to have the Jewish people back, but the problem is they left here, they left here black and came back white. You know what I mean? Not to knock that as a thing. Jewish people can be of any descent, any color or creed, but that doesn't mean you have, ownership of the land. And now you're here killing." There's over 2 million plus Palestinian people in that area. They're pretty much talking about moving them completely out of the area, taking the waterfront property for themselves. Jared Kushner came out with this plan some years back. He talked about it. There's a video of him talking about this exact plan, which they're doing right now, so they can have the waterfront property on top. Bigger than that, there's like a lot of natural gas and probably oil, because normally when there's natural gas, there's also oil out right off the coast of Gaza. So they want that as well. They don't want the Palestinian people to have anything. They're trying to tell them, hey, move to Egypt, move somewhere else. Why? So that you guys who can steal their land. This is what you've been doing this entire time. You stole the land in the West Bank as well. It's just saddening, man, that we've had to sit here and watch this happen, and almost feel powerless, man, to watch people, kids, women, children, just starve, man, like literally starving. I saw a picture of a woman, man. Her face was. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're showing a picture compared to what happened to the Jews in the Holocaust. It's the same thing, but Wes, honestly, we're watching these people die in real time. Yeah. I mean, that's what's going to happen. There's nothing that's going to stop this.
And it's like we're more concerned about
unless the Muslim countries around them decide to step in. We're watching them die now. We watch them get bombed. We've seen pictures of Gaza, what it looked like before, what it looks like now. We're going to watch this genocide go on, and then it's like, how far is it going to go? Because if you can kill these people just because a few are bad eggs, what does that say about us? Look what's going on in America. You know what I'm saying? I've seen videos of, Hispanic people. They're getting racially profiled now. Now they believe, oh man, that's what's going on. They're getting treated like animals just because they're brown. You know what I'm saying? And soon that's going to trickle down to us. They've already done it to us. They'd be like, oh, let's go get them anyways. Where does it stop? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if the other Muslim countries can't stop this, because there's nothing we can do. You could protest all you want. You should have kept Kamala in there, but you didn't, because Trump got in there and he's like, hey, beachfront property. You don't care how many bodies we got to build these houses on. So I mean,
it gets to the point.
It's sad. It's sad.
We've been so caught up, worrying about the kids that Trump may have been messing with, that we're forgetting about the kids who are being killed and genocided over in Gaza, man. I've seen kids kind of crawling like towards aid. I mean, there's aid trucks, like lines of aid trucks out there right now that they won't even allow in. They have like tons and tons of aid just sitting. I've seen Jewish kids, or whatever you want to call them, basically ripping the aid off the trucks and throwing it and breaking it and stepping on it, and so these people couldn't have it. You guys got to understand, this is intentional, man. This has been an intentional act since the beginning. They're telling, so Hamas, man, you guys had alerts that Hamas was going to attack, and it took you guys 10 to 12 hours. You act like Israel is a large country, like you guys don't have troops set out all over the border. You do. You
got to understand the mentality of these people too, because they're like, well, the kids and the women deserve to die too, because Hamas is bad, and they know people, or they're part of that government. They're like, they all need to go. Think about that mentality. They all need to die.
They said it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they've said it multiple times. These are psychopaths. And I'm telling people this too. That kind of hate doesn't stop. They just find somebody new to hate, something new to hate. If you don't crush it now, it's never going to be crushed. They're just going to move on to the next victim and the next victim and the next one. They're going to justify it with the same BS they're doing with this one. And it's sickening.
Absolutely. Whites only group wants to build community in Missouri. A controversial whites-only organization is looking to expand its footprint, and civil rights groups are sounding the alarm. Return to the Land, a self-described private member association that bars Jewish people and only accepts members of European ancestry, has confirmed it's considering creating a community near Springfield, Missouri. The group, co-founded by Eric Orwell, already has a 160-acre property in northern Arkansas where it's been developing what it calls a homestead community since 2023. According to his website, RTTL's mission is to form decentralized communities where members can raise families, homeschool their children, and celebrate shared ancestry. Orwell said the group wants to expand into all 50 states, building networks of communities and recreational centers for white Americans who want to live among like-minded people. Civil rights advocates say the group's plans are more than troubling. They could be illegal. Earlier this month, the Anti-Defamation League released a statement on X calling the Northern Arkansas Project a blatant return to segregation. The ADL said the group's practices appear to violate the Arkansas Fair Housing Act, the Federal Fair Housing Act of 1968, and other state and federal anti-discrimination laws. We urge state and local officials to ensure Arkansas and Missouri remain inclusive communities, not havens for intolerance, said Lindsay Bach-Friedman, regional director of ADL South Central. Orwell has pushed back, saying RTTL doesn't sell real estate and is protected as a private association. Americans have the right to freely associate and form intentional communities on whatever basis they choose, he said. Despite growing criticism, Orwell said RTTL is moving forward. We want white Americans to value their ancestry and to have a place to live among their own if they choose, he said, adding, mass immigration has made it harder in many Western nations.
Hey,
so
I'm with it. Cool, let them do it. But we should be able to do it too.
You've been talking about this for a while. You know, I mean, this has been something that you've actually said for a while. You know, you believe that.
Let them have it. Oh, what's going to happen? Oh, who cares? Let them have their little towns. Let them move into a whole town of their own people. That's fine. Let them do it. They already have them now. But
they have a lot of them now.
They have a lot of sundown towns. But we should be able to do it too. That'd be wonderful. But we got to,
probably like that as well.
We got to get armed. We got to be close to the border so they can't mess with your water. And no, we should have a whole town to ourselves.
Just like it gets to a point to where you start segregating America again, then we become a splintered nation within ourselves. It's not a good. I'm not saying that we're not, but the fact of the matter is that we are forced to live around each other. We're forced to have to cohabitate here. I feel like it's a positive thing in a lot of different ways, because at the end of the day, if you splinter your nation that way, it's easier to crack it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
it's already split. And then also, I'm just saying, if they can do it, we should be able to do it too. A whole city where we can't let people in. Like, nope, sorry, sir, you can't come in. We're having a good time, but you got to be armed, because you can't let them come burn it down. It ain't gonna be like the old times. And you, like I said, you got to be by the border or a large portion of water, or somewhere we have a water supply where they can't poison you. You know, say maybe like wells underground. This is wonderful. Let them do it. They already have the town. They have sundown towns all over America. Are they succeeding in life? No, because you need minority.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of the Trump era regulations where he's trying to break, cut civil rights and kind of, act like these things don't need to be upheld, are what's breeding this kind. I mean, this behavior has been going on for a long time. You got the KKK, you got all these different, European-based groups. You know, I mean, it's hate groups at the end of the day that have been running roughshod all through the nation for a very long time. But this kind of intolerance cannot be tolerated here, because we are a melting pot nation. We've always been, and we should always be. That's what our strength is. When you start getting away from that strength, I think it becomes an issue. That's just my personal opinion.
I don't know, Wes. I'm saying they have towns in America where black folks are not welcome. No minority is welcome. The only minority they like is Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo. I'm just saying, let them have their own town. Let them have their own all-white town. They already have them all here through in America. We already know that.
They do.
There's places we're not allowed to go. Cool. Let them have that. But that means we can have our own too. You know what I'm saying? If we can have our own, you know what's going to happen? All the people are going to want to hang out with us anyways. That's what they want to do now. People don't want to I mean, there's groups of people that are racist. They love to hang out with each other. But a lot of racist people like to hang out with us anyways. You want to know why? Because it's cooler. The music's better. The food is better. The women look better. You know what I'm saying? This way, We can have our own. We can have a safe haven, safe place to go called Only Blacks. We can have the boom boom room. Think about it. Think about it. All the food would be fucking delicious. Everybody would just cuss each other out. It'd be like Oakland, but without the crime.
I always feel like, you know, man, at the end of the day, man, as for the greater good of the nation, it's never been a good thing. It's always shown. You've watched when the nation has grown the fastest has been when there has been, you know, when there has been inclusive type of behavior going on in this country.
And you see how
we've grown by leaps and bounds.
And you see how the nation is going down now because we're going backwards, right? The dollar is weak.
Huh? I wouldn't say that. I feel like we're still number one in the world by far. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say I think that we're going through a transition. I think we're going through a transition right now. Really, that's more akin to when one empire is starting to crumble and fall and another one is rising. You go through this transition period. This is not. I think they have when you push a rat into a corner, it strikes. When things are bad for someone and there's no other way out, all they can do is lash out at you because it's the last thing they can do. It's like the last gasp of any animal. They're gonna just try to lash out to try and make you scared or make you feel like they still have it in them, but you don't anymore. And we all know it's over. And so this is their last gasp right now.
Let them have it. They should have their own. They have them already now. At least they're just outward. I like my racism out. Yeah, I hate people that are sneaky racism. You know what I'm saying? Like they know they're racist, but they know they got to be around other people, so they kind of like be sneaky about it, but like they don't. I like my racism front and center. I'm just saying, if they can have their own towns, we can have our own towns. All the brown people can come to our towns, but the white people can't come. It's fine. They're going to throw a fit, but hey, no, you have your own towns here. Why can't we have our here? So I'm cool with it. America's been racist, bro. Like it's always been racist. It's built off racism. It's built off theft, lies, rape, and stealing. All right. So I mean, like this whole idea of what America is supposed to stand for is not for us. We think it is, but it's not. We just kind of like fit into it and we kind of like beat the system and then they just change the rules. You know what I'm saying? As they go along. Look at Beyonce with the country awards. You know what I'm saying? She won the Grammys and now they're like, oh, now we're going to make an extra country one called contemporary country for all the other people. And you Negroes can have this one, kind of like urban hip hop.
Absolutely.
Yeah. U.S. Fitzgerald forced to flee after intense clash with Iranian helicopter. A U.S. warship was clashed with an Iranian helicopter in a tense standoff, according to reports. It comes amid heightened tension between U.S. and Iran after Donald Trump ordered airstrikes to destroy 3 Tehran nuclear-enriched sites in Iran, with the terrifying map revealed the U.S. region where 75% of people will die in a nuclear World War III. Trump has issued a fresh attack warning to Iran if necessary after Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi stated that Tehran cannot give up nuclear ambitions. It comes after alarming Trump health fears over a huge bulge spotted in his pants. And this morning, tensions have flared again. This morning, the American destroyer Fitzgerald attempted to approach Iranian-controlled water in a provocative move. Iran-based Fars news agency claimed on their Telegram channel. It added that the Iranian helicopter quickly flew over to the destroyer and issued a stern warning to leave the area. The American ship allegedly threatened the Iranian helicopter, but the Army pilot continued the mission with authority and warned again. Following the renewed U.S. threat, the Army defense system took action and announced that the helicopter was under full defensive cover and the destroyer had to change its course, they wrote on Telegram. The ship eventually left the area, they added. In an update on Tehran's nuclear production, they said Monday that it is now stopped because, yes, damages are serious and severe, but obviously we cannot give up on our enrichment because it is an achievement of our own scientists, and now, more than that, it is a question of national pride. He said that Tehran is open to talks with the U.S., but there would be no direct talks for the time being. He added that they would be ready to engage with the U.S. for a win-win solution.
Well, I mean, you said that this is an open attack. I mean, if we're in there, if we're in this situation where we're in their waters or in their territory, I mean, if I'm them, I'm striking as well. Not to say that you want someone to strike your country, but it is what it is. They just had a few of our bombers go into their country and their sovereign territory and try to destroy their nuclear program or whatever they have going on. I mean, we've also helped kill a lot of their scientists. We've given information to the Israelis to take out some of their leaders. It's been an issue, ongoing issue. So what would you do? you know, I'm in this situation right here. I think that's the biggest question right there. What would you do?
Stand up for your own. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's like they can't, that's the old Persian Empire. You know what I'm saying? They can't take it sitting down. Because if they buckle, who else is going to stand up for the Middle East? There's nobody else left. Everyone else has basically been either paid off or they've been destabilized. And it's just a bad thing. I mean, the only reason he attacked Iran was to cover up for the whole Epstein thing. And it's not going away. That's why he's coming after Obama right now. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I got to do something to get this off me. You know what I'm saying? And why he's doing this, the BRICS nations are growing, trying to destabilize the dollar. And it's just a bad situation going on back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think it's a no-win situation for either side.
Yeah, we've been in a situation where I think that Iran is just pretty much the last standing empire in the Middle East that really would buck back at us at this point in time. I think that's the biggest thing here. I mean, and so let's just hope that I don't see them trying to turn this into a bigger conflict, because obviously we bombed inside their country. They've done nothing. The only thing they can do is really try to wait us out, or wait out the situation, see how things go for the future. But I think overall we'll probably end up destabilizing them after Khomeini dies, because he really doesn't have a successor. And Iran will probably fall into the fold as well, or fall into some type of a civil war type of action after he passes. And we start killing other leaders and destabilizing the area even further. So it's just an ongoing story of what America and the West have been doing to the rest of the world for a long period of time. So
yeah, it's a sad situation. We'll keep you updated to that. And speaking of a sad situation, ladies and gentlemen, man beaten by Florida officers in viral video speaks out. I was really just scared. The man who was pulled out of his car and beaten by Florida police officers during a viral traffic stop has spoken out for the first time about the incident, as his attorney calls for more accountability. That day, I just really wanted to know why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out of the car. William McNeil Jr. told reporters about the February 19th arrest that only recently gained traction online, sparking outrage and multiple official reviews. I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I was just scared. And that's it, he added. His comments come just days after Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters released body cam footage of the arrest that said McNeil's cell phone footage, taken from inside his car and capturing only a portion of the encounter, didn't provide a full picture of what happened. In multiple body cam videos, officers are seen smashing McNeil's window and striking him multiple times after he locked himself inside the car and questioned why he had been pulled over. The arresting officer said he had stopped the college student for a headlight and seatbelt violation. McNeil pleaded guilty to resisting police without violence and driving with suspended license in connection with the February episode, a court record shows. Waters said an internal review of the officers conducted is ongoing. DJ Bower, the officer who broke McNeil's window and struck him at least twice, was placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the agency review. A separate criminal probe undertaken by local prosecutors cleared the officers of any wrongdoing, Waters said. So the whole reason they pulled this kid over, right? It's broad daylight. It's not raining. They said, oh, you need to have your headlights on. He's like, it's crazy. And they showed the video of the police officers, and I was showing them, we're like, that's not all the stuff. That's not the whole picture. So they showed the video of the cop coming up in front of him, right? And guess what? The police didn't have his headlights on either. You know what I'm saying? He was like, my headlights on. And he's like, yo, I don't need my headlights on. The cop's like, why'd you open the door? He's like, because my window doesn't roll down. Then he asked for the supervisor. They break his window. We're showing you the video. They break the window, punch him in the face. They're like, show me your hands. He's like, they're right there. They're right there. And then they commence to beating his ass and taking him out the car. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing that upsets me about this is that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say he's resisting because he wasn't. He was pulled over for some BS. Resisting. Look, yeah, I saw a video right there. Like, oh yeah, they also found a knife and marijuana in his car. Then they're like, and then he was charged for resisting arrest. I'm like, so why would you even say the knife and marijuana was in his car and they didn't even charge him for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't even make no sense.
To me, to start it off with, you would hope that don't drive around with a suspended license. You're giving them reason. And at the same time, though, they didn't probably, I'm not sure if they knew at the time or not.
He's not even charged with the suspended license.
Yeah, he pled guilty to the suspended license. They said that in the thing, and I heard that already too. This happened in February. He ended up pleading guilty to suspended license, which is messed up. But the fact of the matter is, you assaulted him. You assaulted him really for no reason. Oh, I told you to get out the car. You guys really believe this? I told you get out the car thing is bigger than, hey, let me talk to a supervisor, because it's really not. If he's not posing a threat to you, which he wasn't. showed you his hands. There was no issue. And then you broke his window out because you guys are at this point right now where it's a power trip going on. It's been going on for a very long time.
They came to kill him. Think about it. You get pulled over in broad daylight for not having your headlights on. And they didn't even charge him with that initially. He didn't even get a ticket for that. So you know it was BS. Like I be telling you, man. I said this before in the show. I'm like, when they pull you over, you know you ain't do nothing wrong. You know what they're coming to do to you. Especially when you're black in America. You know exactly what they're coming to do to you. Now you have a choice. You can take that ass whooping or you can go out and be on a t-shirt.
Bust your glass out, bust your window out your car, yank you out, beat you, punch on you. I mean, they were punching on people on the bridge. I watched this protest where they're just punching on. I mean, right? They've gotten to a point to where that's like an appropriate thing. So if you fight back, then you're resisting arrest. So if I defend myself, because what's natural is fight or flight. That's a natural thing for a human being. You guys are talking, psychologists, everyone will tell you about this. So at the end of the day, if I move to protect myself, now I'm resisting you. Other than almost just lay there and get beat on. No one's natural actions are to lay there and get beat on. Stop resisting. His arms were behind his back when you punched him in the face. There was no other way. You know what I mean? There's not what are you even punching him in the face for? There's several of y'all. To punch him in the face does not get him on the ground any quicker. A punch in the face.
This is to explain to people that aren't African or a black or African American to help them understand the situation. You ever had an abusive parent when you're a little kid and that parent would just beat the shit out you and how helpless you felt because you know you couldn't fight back because if you did, you'd make it worse? That's what it's like getting your ass beat by the police. You ever had somebody just punch on you and you know you couldn't fight back because if you did, they would just make it worse? That's what it's like getting beat up by the police as a black African American. That's what it's like. You're helpless because if you fight back, they'll kill you and they'll be justified. But they came to get you you didn't do nothing wrong. You were just there. And they felt like getting on you.
And you look at the officers who they sent out to actually like explain this away.
They always do. They always do.
But I get it. It's your job to explain away why you guys beat on people for no reason. I get it. It's your job. It's your job's online. You can't take any other route because everyone's gonna look at you like you sold them out. But at the same time, we're going to look at you like you sold us out too, because you know the truth and you know what's been going on for a very long time here. And it's not going to stop until everyone like coalesces together to make it stop.
Yeah, and it's a sad situation, man. And we're going to keep you updated as this stuff keeps coming on and as the world keeps burning. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Uncommon Courtesy. Until next time.